she's going to present the title, The Peace and Sustainability Initiative in Hiroshima University. Please welcome her with a big hand.
Thank you, Chair, for the kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here today and present the Peace and Sustainability Initiative at Hiroshima University on behalf of Professor Shinji Kaneko, who sends his regards to everyone. He's in another conference representing the president of the university in Tokyo, Japan. So I'm very excited to be here today in this beautiful campus, and I will present a little bit about the background of Hiroshima University and our network, the Network for Education and Research on Peace and Sustainability, or NERPS. I will also talk about the research initiatives of NERPS and my own research that is related to peace and sustainability, specifically my research on the Anthropocene. So Hiroshima University is one of the leading universities in Japan with more than 15,000 students. We have a substantial amount of international students as well. And we have 3 campuses, and the main campus is at Hiroshima City, where NERPS is located, and also where I'm currently based. We are proud to have a university that is strategically located at a culturally and historically significant place. The photo on your left is the Hiroshima Shrine of Hiroshima, and the photo on your left is the A-bomb dome. The dome is a vivid reminder of the horrors of the World War II, but more importantly, at least for the people of Hiroshima, it's a symbol of hope and peace. So both of these sites are assigned as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And true to the heritage of Hiroshima Prefecture and the history of Japan, Hiroshima University was built with a vision of, as in the words of our founder, Professor Tetsuo Morito, a single unified university, free and pursuing peace. So this vision is still very much embedded at the heart of the university's present activities and future vision. Peace is also at the core of the university's principles. Alongside the pursuit of peace, the guiding principles of Hiroshima University also include the creation of new forms of knowledge, the nurturing of well-rounded human beings, the collaboration with the local, regional, and international communities, and finally, continuous self-development. To update these guiding principles, the university's leadership launched the Sustainable Peace Leader Enhancement by nurturing the development of research, or the Splendor Plan, in 2017. The purpose of this plan is to match the university's vision on research, education, and social contribution with action. So to realize this vision, the university now focuses on reforms for a world-class international research, training of faculty, staff, and researchers, the establishment of a unified institute to streamline research and education related to peace and recovery, and innovation of peace science within the university. In his speech last year, that's our president together with the students of Hiroshima University, Professor Mitsuo Ochie emphasized the need to seek solutions for the environmental issues in the world, and believes that Hiroshima University can contribute to these solutions through the establishment of the Future Earth SDGs Network for Education and Research on Peace and Sustainability, or NERPS. So NERPS is still in a baby phase. It was established in 2018 with the goal of enhancing science for sustainable development and research and education capabilities to achieve the SDGs, not only in Japan, but also internationally. So in addition to research and education, NERPS also aims to have not only the academic impact of the SDGs, but also the social impact. So we do this through close engagement with policymakers and government agencies, and aligning our research with the needs of the local communities, especially the immediate surroundings of Hiroshima University. So through this interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary collaboration, we hope to expand this impact nationally, regionally, and globally. For instance, for the past year, we conducted 3 international symposiums attended by academics from universities and agencies around the world, practitioners and policymakers within and outside of Japan, and students who wish to have this deeper learning on peace and sustainability. Recently, we held the inaugural Hiroshima Dialogue Forum on Sustainability Peace Nexus in the context of global change. We invited a select group of individuals to participate in interactive dialogue to identify the research gaps and social needs related to peace and sustainability. Of course, I'm not sure if you can see, but we have with us Kasuga Sensei there, beside our director, Kaneka Sensei. We also had Japanese government officials, individuals from the business sector, academics and policy researchers from Korea, from the US, UK, China, the Philippines, India, Bangladesh, Germany, and Japan, of course. One of the outcomes of this forum is a special issue for the Sustainability Science Journal. Until May 2020, we will be welcoming abstracts from academics and practitioners who are interested in having their research articles, viewpoints, and reviews included in the issue. What's unique about this special issue is that it includes perspectives not only from the academia, but from the private sector and the government and non-governmental organizations. So I'll be happy to talk to you later on during the break, probably if you're interested in submitting your work to the special issue. One example of research from NERS was done by my colleagues, Dr. Ayub Sharifi and of course Professor Shinji Kaneko. They're currently doing a mapping of the literature landscape on climate change, peace and security, and have presented their initial findings at the World Forum on Climate Justice in Glasgow recently. Based on their review, they found out that the existing academic literature does not yet lead to a conclusive evidence on direct relationship between climate and conflict. But climate change, for instance, acts as a threat multiplier and increases the risk of conflict. It may also increase the duration of the conflict. And other factors such as economic capacity and access to resources are important in this equation because they can potentially promote conflict or conflict resolution. But it's clear from the literature that my colleagues have done that climate risks may further intensify in the future due to climate change. Now allow me to share a little bit of my independent research. I've done my disciplinary field is in international relations, focusing on peace and conflict studies. So questions related to peace and conflict, especially in the context of global change, are my research interest. I'm originally from the Philippines, but I have studied in Japan and Australia, and I have lived in US and Singapore and Japan. Japan. Exactly. So I consider myself a global citizen, and I think with the global challenges that we're experiencing right now, it's important to have more global perspectives. And coming from the discipline of international relations, I'm interested in how my discipline is engaging with this concept of or idea of the Anthropocene. I believe that Professor Kim talked about the Anthropocene and human health yesterday, and unfortunately I missed it. The Anthropocene is a proposed, as many of you may know, is a proposed geological epoch in Earth history, and scientists are yet to reach consensus on when the Anthropocene started. But there is an agreement that humans are now the driving force behind the changes in the Earth system. I also want to mention that every time I present my research about the Anthropocene in front of IR scholars, probably there will only be a handful who have read or heard about the Anthropocene. So I'm excited to have more conversations with you later on after the presentation. So the Anthropocene is manifested in climate change, extreme weather conditions and biodiversity loss, to name a few, and we are already experiencing these changes. These changes will eventually impact everyone, but there is a variation in urgency and degree of impact. For a discipline that deals with the challenges of sharing a singular and finite space, I expect my discipline to have a substantial engagement with the Anthropocene discourse. However, I found out that IR is rather a late bloomer when it comes to engaging with the Anthropocene, although of course there is an increasing attention since the publication of Professor Crutzen and Stormer's paper in 2000. So although we are less engaged with the Anthropocene discourse, especially within the social sciences, at least we are starting to have a conversation about this. And much like the theoretical foundations of IR, I believe that the way we engage with the Anthropocene discourse is very Eurocentric or Western-centric. So to craft the useful knowledge that aims to address the social-ecological challenges brought by global environmental changes, it's important to question what we know and how and why we know what we know. And most importantly, what are we going to do with what we know? So I started asking, where is the Anthropocene? I'm interested in examining the different perspectives and experiences of the Anthropocene. I started looking at the causes, consequences, and solutions to the Anthropocene from an Asia-Pacific perspective, and later on, hopefully through interinstitutional and interdisciplinary collaboration. I can also start examining other regional, national, and local perspectives in the Anthropocene. I'm not just interested in the nexus between climate and conflict, but also in peace. I started examining the intersection between peace building and global environmental changes. More specifically, I got curious with how peace building should look like in the age of the Anthropocene. I will not go through the details of what went right and what went wrong during the past few decades of international peace building led by the United Nations and other participating UN member states. But I'm looking at how research on the Anthropocene can inform future peace building missions. I'm